Howdy, welcome back. I'm the Strats Professor, and today we're going to be starting a brand new campaign with the Lizardmen with Nakai the Wanderer. So special thanks to Constantin for sponsoring this campaign. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me at thestratsprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Just $3 episode, minimum 10 episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. That's free, that's easy, and consider turning off the ad block. I never run any mid-rolls, and it helps out the channel a little bit. Okay, so I haven't done a Nakai campaign in a while. He is my favorite Lizardman that I've played. Now, to be fair, I have not played a lot of the other ones in a little while. But I really like that he's a Horde faction. And there aren't that many Horde factions in the game. There are some, obviously, but it just allows you to tech up to see a greater amount of the units in there. You don't have to manage the cities as much all the time, which is hit or miss. I do like managing the cities, but you know, sometimes if you're just coming off a campaign like the Skaven campaign that I just did, where there's a lot of min-maxing with the cities early on, it is nice just to fight, and not have to worry as much about the cities. And it's a high-risk, high-reward, so if you're a newer player, it can be kind of rough, because if you die, if your main lord dies, it's basically your capital city also gets sacked. So it's really, really rough. If you ever lose a battle, so you better not lose, especially with your main lord. But I just like the progression of it. I like that you can get access to higher tier units, and that is kind of a problem I've seen with some of the other Lizardmen. Like, I really wanted to maybe do like an Oxyotl campaign, so I've never done that. I know he has kind of a fun mechanic too, but I'm just thinking, you know, so many of the Lizardmen in particular, of their powerful, cool units, are locked at tier 4 and tier 5. And they don't have a lot of ways you can kind of cheat that out like the Skaven can with their food mechanic. And so it's just going to take you forever to get up there. So I'm sure the other campaigns are still pretty cool, but I like Nakai because of that Horde thing. And he starts in a pretty interesting location. Well, let's go ahead and get in here. So starts as a Horde. Other Hordes use global recruitment to access the units that he gets. So that's pretty cool too. You don't have to level them up to tier 5. If he's already tier 5, they can just global off of him, which is pretty unique as far as Hordes go. Now, you can still, if they're kind of close to each other, just hand off units, if you want to do it that way, but you do have the global option. And instead of just burning stuff, I don't know if there is a faction that just straight up burns anymore, like old school Hordes, but he was one of the first ones to innovate this in Warhammer 2 by creating a vassal. Whenever he would take over something, instead of occupying it himself, he gives it to his vassal. I forgot what they're called. They might be the Spirit of the Jungle vassal. I can't remember, but it's a vassal basically that pays tribute, will never break allegiance with him, and just kind of holds the property for you with like an okay garrison. The Lord recruit ranks +3 for Croxlore Ancients. Those are going to be your best units that you want to hire for this faction. And then he personally gets -15% recruitment on Croxlores. The Sacred Croxlores is kind of whatever, and then +5 melee defense. So it's okay. Not insane bonuses. A little on the weaker side, but just the fact that he is Horde is pretty nice. Then campaign difficulty, as with all the campaigns, legendary, very hard. Alright, let's get in there. And do check out my Queek campaign. That was another one that Constantin sponsored. That one's been pretty fun. I still might release a couple of episodes on that, but I did want to go ahead and start a new one as well. And I was thinking of maybe doing like dwarves like Thorgrim or maybe Slaanesh at some point, but I was just thinking, you know, they're going to rework the Lizardmen in the next DLC, and I believe that's probably near the end of this year. So if we want to do the Lizardmen, we might as well do them earlier rather than later, so we put a little bit of time between the campaigns. And this one is still pretty fun. But with the traditional Lizardmen, you can kind of feel like they are a cool faction, but you can kind of feel a little bit of the rust on them, a little bit of the oldness, old school that hasn't been reworked. So, and I'll talk about these mechanics here in a second. But if you look at his building tree, this is nice. This is a little bit more streamlined. There's still a couple of goofy buildings, but you can hire the Bastillodons, for example, at tier 2. I believe with the normal Lizardmen, it's tier 3, and it requires a secondary building. And you have to get a secondary building for Slan Mage Priests. You just do a rite for it with him. They aren't very good, but it just kind of has that old school like armory type of building that used to be with Empire and Vampire counts from Warhammer 1 that required you to get an entirely separate building to be able to recruit some mid-level units. Dwarves had that too, and that's been sort of revamped for all of those factions where they don't require that stuff anymore, and they made a lot of the units lower tier, which I think is a good move. I think overall they should just get rid of tier 5 or just make all growth linear like it is with the Horde, right? So that's one big thing. If you've never played a Horde, you just have to get to 20 of these little stats in order to get one population, 20 growth, period. It doesn't matter if it's, tier 2 building, tier 3 building, tier 4, whatever. Versus normal growth, it goes up multiplicatively. I think it's 150, 300, 600, 1200, 2400. So it takes forever to get to tier 5. Now, to kind of counter that with the Lizardmen, it does require 16 growth here, right? But if you can get to 10, which we have right now, that's still only 32 turns by the time you get all the way up here. So it still takes some time, and they may have nerfed this. I can't remember if it used to be that high or not. But with some of the different buffs, you can easily get this up to, 20 growth. And so that makes it a lot faster. That's just 16 turns. And it only takes 1 turn to complete once you have that growth. A lot of the other factions, it's like 6 or 7 turns or something now to complete these buildings. So, anyways, I like that aspect. The units are a lot more streamlined. They're organized a lot better than some of the other factions. And there's a lot of good choices early on. I will say that all of the heroes are good because they all get mounts that are like big dinosaur mounts. It does take them a lot of levels. However, with the buff to the Saurus Veteran, God, he requires tier 3. You do get +1 or tier 4. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Well, I guess we're not getting a veteran for a while. Unless there's something else that gives you a veteran that I'm not thinking of. But this guy used to not be that great, but training was really buffed. I don't remember how many patches ago, a couple of patches ago. To where it's no longer just flat XP that's terrible. Now it's up to 55%. And I was going to say, this is particularly good if you can get it for Lizardmen, because a lot of their heroes get really, really strong once they get their dinosaur mounts, but that's usually not until like level 20 or so. But, he requires tier 4, so we're going to have to wait a while on that. The skinks really aren't that great. Some of the specific skink lords do power up the skinks a little bit to make them a bit better, but overall they are not really worth the money. I mean, they are mobile. Usually they have some kind of little debuffs or just sort of little tricks they can do, but their stats are just a bit underwhelming. So like these chameleon stalkers, and these are fairly new, I think. Maybe with the Oxyotl, who I think was the most recent DLC lord. Their melee attack is still 22, melee defense is 36, so, like, they do have poison, they do have a little attack they can do, they've got 40 armor and 20% resist, which is good, and they have a couple other things going on, but, 150 is still getting kind of steep, unless you have other buffs, and they have really low HP, too, like, most infantry, like the Saurus, for example, are going to have 10,000 HP, 60 armor, and they're 29, 28 base, but the weapon strength on them is massive at 52 per hit. That's a lot for baseline infantry. They are a little bit more expensive, but I just feel like they're going to perform a bit better. The skinks are heavy armor piercing, but it is what it is. Skinks are underpowered. Probably not going to get a lot of them with our faction. Croxagores are kind of our signature thing. He does have a lot of buffs for them. Those are really solid. They're plus 15 bonus versus infantry, so that's 45 melee attack on a monster. That's pretty effective, which is good with 115 damage. So it's like an armored troll, but better leadership. A couple of different buffs that are good. Now we might sprinkle in 1 or 2 skinks in there because they added this buff, and I don't remember when they did this. But if you have a skink nearby on the Croxagores, then it gives the Croxagores an extra 10% damage. So that's obviously really good. So, we'll try to get maybe a couple of skinks in there. But mostly what you're going to be doing with the Lizardmen are these big monsters. And they have a wide variety. They're surprisingly pretty versatile. You have this Sotek, Ark of Sotek that I've talked about before. every minute you can cast this, and it's basically like a little mini. It's less damage than something like Flock of Doom, but it's something similar in effect, where it's just AoE, like, burn damage that lasts for 28 seconds, so it's a long time, and it's just really good at versus just huge piles of infantry. So having one or two of these, especially early on, is great. They added this new thing to these guys, too. Maybe they always had this, and I just didn't know, but they definitely made it visually obvious that they're immune to flanking, all these large monsters. So if they get surrounded, you know, by spears or swords or whatever, they're no longer going to take those leadership penalties. So that's really nice to keep them around a bit longer. They do have okay leadership, but it's not insane. And a bunch of them are going to be siege attackers, and they all cause terror early on. So you have access to super heavily armored, pretty high HP, pretty affordable, poison attacking, you know, Flock of Dooming, unflankable, terror-causing units that also have a missile component to them that fires for 43 damage every round, and it's got 70 ammo. It's really good. So all the Bastillodons are going to be sort of similar to that. The other variants are, you've got a solar engine, which basically shoots artillery. This is one of your only pieces of artillery that has pretty good splash damage. And when people get hit, they get minus 24 melee attack and defense. That's massive. I don't remember how long that lasts. It might only be like 10 seconds or something. But if you can shoot the enemy in the back, it'll not only do a lot of damage, but it'll also give them that debuff, which is pretty cool. And they recently just added in this solar engine aura, which I didn't even realize before, which is massive. They get one vigor returned per second. What that means effectively is that everything's going to be perfect vigor. It's going to fix the vigor on everything. That is massive. Like, low vigor just completely tanks all of your stats. I don't remember all the debuffs, but it's like lowers your armor, lowers your melee attack, lowers your melee defense, obviously lowers your movement speed. It does a lot of stuff that's not very clear in the tooltip that just tremendously debuffs a lot of stuff about you when you're really tired. So the fact that everyone's going to be healthy is effectively giving everyone all of those stats. This might as well say, plus 10, melee attack, melee defense, armor, all that stuff. The inverse. So, really, really good. You definitely want one of those. And then this is another Bastillodon version that's extremely good. It's a Revivification Crystal. Now, I think they nerfed this a little bit over time. It used to be 10 charges of this. Now it's 7. But it's effectively going to return 10% max HP to whoever you use this on. Doesn't cost any magic, and you get one every 60 seconds. So, pretty good, especially when you have a lot of your units have a really high HP pool, and it resurrects dead combatants. So if half your Saurus are dead, if they're at 50% HP and you use this, it'll actually resurrect the dead individual units, which no other healing does that except for like vampiric healing. So that's pretty unique and pretty cool. Then the Stegodon versions are just kind of beefier, a little tougher in combat, have higher armor-piercing damage, just higher stats, except for armor, but they have like more HP. Just everything's a little bit better about them, and they are a little bit more expensive. I feel like that's cheaper than they used to be. I feel like they used to be like 400 gold, but maybe I'm misremembering that. Now, they do have some versions as well, so you get a Stegodon with Engine of the Gods. So this is really good. This is like a free, like, pretty reasonably hard-hitting wind spell. You get 2 of those. Then you also get an extra recharge rate, and just those good Stegodon stats, pretty much. I think the melee attack's a little bit lower on this one, but still really solid. And then up at the top, you have Ancient Stegodon. That's curious that the one that's got all the buffs on it is actually tier 4, even though it has a little tier 5 purple icon on it there, the V. But this one is tier 4 with the icon, but now it's up at tier 5. So this one is ranged at 115 range. It only has 10 ammo, but hits pretty hard. Good against single targets, but that's really odd. But I don't know. So you don't need to go to tier 5 on that one, because this is just a better version of it, I think. But anyways, you obviously want to get a bunch of these as soon as you can. And then the Razordon stuff is okay. You don't exactly need it. but it's kind of a good skirmisher range unit. Does some good range damage against large. This is kind of, if you want ranged attacking units, this is where you want to be. I mean, 96 missile strength from 32 units with 18 ammo is pretty dang good. You do have skinks, like skinks with blow darts that can do some damage too, but this is going to be a stronger version, albeit a little bit more expensive. Ancient Salamander hits harder, more splash damage, more expensive. These top-end things are really good if you get to tier 5, with the Carnosaur being the standout, your big anti-large, really fast unit. And these other ones are pretty good too, but they're kind of ludicrously priced. If you're like turbo rich, you can get like the Dread Saurian for $775. Now, it does have 15,000 health and just really crazy stats, so it is good. The Feral Troglodon is a little more affordable. Has some good range damage. So we'll get those if we can get to the top of them. Your magic users are pretty good because, again, they're going to get on dinosaur mounts. I don't remember which ones. I think the priests might get on top of like a Stegodon or something. But they're pretty good. The Saurus, or this guy, gets on a Carnosaur, I'm pretty sure. The other ones get on some kind of mount that's good. But you have Heavens and Beasts. Now, Vortex spells... Let's go ahead and get into a fight, and I'll just talk about it a little bit more. But I do want to make sure we get a couple of fights here. But I always try to explain stuff at the beginning, just in case you want to play at home, or just so you, in case you haven't played it in a while, you can kind of see what's going on. Let's get a fight here. Alright, we're going to fight it. But I was going to say, Vortex spells are especially good with Lizardmen, because Vortex spells do very little to single entity large monsters, but they can completely destroy, you know, a bunch of infantry. So if you just throw a Bastillodon in a huge pile of swords, for example, and then you just drop a Cabana Cassandora or Chain Lightning or any other Vortex spell in there, it's going to delete all of them and not really hurt your unit very much at all. So Vortex spells, the Lizardmen probably do it better than almost anybody in the game. They have so many different monster options that they're going to be fielding anyways. So Heavens is really good. Really, really good with Lizardmen. Beast is good too. You do have Flock of Doom. Beast historically is one of the best magic schools. But Heavens, because it's Lizardmen, because you have Cabana Cassandora, Chain Lightning, and like another AoE wind spell with it, it just is very good. And Harmonic Conversion, because you have really high damage and really high HP with Lizardmen, but the drawback is usually they have pretty low melee attack and defense. So if you can just make them hit harder with Harmonic Convergence, that's really good too. So Heavens is quite nice with Lizardmen. Beast is good, Heavens is great. And I think with Berserking, now it can only trigger once, and it's got an effect range that stops Rampage. So it's a lot easier to stop the Rampage, because most of your beasts have Rampage that are unmanned. Okay, and this is just a normal Stegodon artillery piece. Okay. Oh, they do have a couple units up there. What are these, little axe throwers? Alright, let's send these guys up first, because they've got shields. We can Stegodon and hit a few of them. Maybe they'll chill and back up. Probably not going to be super accurate, no. So that's not going to back them off. Yeah, we want to move these up so these take all the axes. Alright, hold up a second, boys. Just a little bit. We'll make sure that the shields soak the hits first. Okay, we hit like one of them. Okay, there we go. They might switch targets, but we want them hitting the shields, because those actually kind of hurt. Those Marauder with Hunters. Yeah, they're kind of lighting up our Saurus there. A little bit. Oof. It did light up my dude a little bit there. They did switch targets. Okay, now they're coming down. Okay. Please tell me they don't do that troll crap. Or they open this gate again and try to get my guy inside trapped. They used to do this. I thought they coded them to stop doing it, because it's kind of an exploit. Please don't start trolling me and hitting these dudes. Because what they would do is they would like open the door, let your lord in, and then close it to where he couldn't get back out. Okay, it looks like that's the case, but they're not like exploiting it. Okay, please don't just set up right here and just fire on them. That'd be really troll. This is gonna take forever. I don't know if that's gonna work. Oh, they are doing it now. Oh my god. But I can't leave. Okay, here we go. Like, even though they're on the inside, I can't make them, like, attack because it's coded as them being on the outside. So it's like, they can hit you, but you can't hit them. So, obviously, it feels bad. And I haven't seen them do that in Warhammer 3 until right there. Okay, we just gotta watch out for the throwing axes. Everything else we should be able to destroy. And we want these Saurus into the spears. Okay, there's some spears there, so that's not amazing for us. We could also use these guys to kind of flank. We don't have any magic here. Spears in the back here are gonna cause some problems. Alright, let's get him out of there. Let's see if, I don't know if we can get like a terror break or what in here. Maybe we can terror these guys, get around the back here. Let me see. Let's see if we can get this dude up here and just like get a better surround on him. How are these guys doing? Not great, but not horrible either. Alright, let's just commit to right here. I don't know what we're doing. These guys look like, yeah, they're about ready to run. He's berserk. Oh, it causes berserk on everybody when I do that. Okay, I think, yeah, they're all about to go here. Well, I can't control them because they're all berserk. Okay. Okay, we probably got a terror break. So they're likely going to rally because they still have quite a bit of HP. If you charge stuff in the back and it causes terror, all those leadership penalties stack up. Now they're... I thought I saw some skirmisher cav running around over here. Yeah, that's going to be annoying. And their lord's just chilling. I think if we clean these guys up, though... I don't remember this initial fight being this hard. Maybe it is, always has been. Make sure these dudes don't rally. Okay, then these dudes are basically broken. Okay, now these dudes are about to rally back. We gotta shut those spears up so they can't rally back. We don't have a lot of super useful magic right now, which is kind of annoying. But... make sure all the spears die. Okay. I think that's probably fine. Are they gonna let us charge him? God. It's so annoying. Okay, they're up against a wall. Can we just, like, get them here, or...? God, we need to get in there. Crap, they're gonna focus fire him. Run. Let's get these over here. Skirmisher stuff is annoying. Okay. Alright, we need to get their lord. Okay, I think they're all about to run. I don't know. Those dudes just shattered. Gosh, please don't make me, like, run way over there and deal with those. I'm gonna have to come in a different way, because I'm not gonna try to siege this with all these towers and this dude. I guess I could use the Stegodon, maybe to try to lighten them up a little bit. Where are the horses? Hoping this will just get him to run, and once the Lord flees... horses. What? That's not even anywhere close to him. Is there like one horse or something? Yeah, fire on him. Okay, now that dude's running. Can they all just break? Like... Alright, kill him. Okay, hopefully these dudes will run once I get up close to him. I guess I'm gonna have to. I have to have the shields. This thing is extremely inaccurate. I mean, yeah, as soon as I, like, try to walk in here, they're gonna come at me. Oh, wait. We gotta let the Saurus go first. They've got the shields. Come on, Saurus, let's... They're like, do we have to? It might actually kill that group of Saurus, I'm not sure. It's not looking good. I don't know, maybe those guys... I think they're gonna run, they'll have a little bit left. So ridiculous that there's like two guys, you know, here fighting to the death. Where are those horses? Make sure they don't like get up behind me. Oh, there they are. What are we doing? Taking a smoke break? Get over here. Like legit. Oh, these dudes were over there or something? I don't know. Get in there! Break that, man. Come on. How are you missing against a stationary wall? Okay, there it is. Oh my, what? Are you serious? Because they rampage, they're trying to run all the way around. Alright, let's go. I cannot believe they're not running. It's crazy. You guys can just chill for a little bit. They must have buffed leadership or something, because this is like, they have 2.5 units, their lord is dead, and they're not surrendering. This should break all of this stuff. Dude, if they, I swear, if they make me run down the horses, I'm not gonna be happy about it. Well, these towers aren't broken? How are they not chained to this? What are they affiliated with? How are these not tied to that? Okay, now they're breaking. I hope. Well, I mean, dude, this is the most troll, like, layout. What are they affiliated with? This one? Like, which checkpoint? I don't know. Okay, we got him. Jeez. That was harder than I remember. You definitely are vulnerable to missile fire early on, so your units are all very slow. You don't have the feral cold ones, which are usually like a very cheap clutch option for dealing with archers, but he's the only one that doesn't have that. Every other faction, there's a tier 1 building you can get. Every other Lizardmen faction. A tier 1 building you can get where you can hire these things that are kind of like dogs. They're cheap. They're like 75 each or something per turn, but they do like pretty nice like armor-piercing damage. They're great for dealing with stuff like that. Like the horses, those archers. But you don't have that. That's one of the few drawbacks of this guy versus some of the other factions. Oh crap, I forgot to... Oh, I can see what the bonuses are here, I think. So basically, you get 2 horde growth for 3 turns, and you get +3 for each town that you take, and each one of these things is themed around something different. And I don't remember... I think the red one. Charge bonus for beasts, cavalry. And there are other things you can spend this resource on, this old one's favor, to buy certain units. And it's not telling me the units, but I think this one is typically beasts. But this gives you 10% charge bonus to all beasts and cavalry. This gives you more charge bonus. That's for all armies. They're all for all armies. And then 5 melee attack. Oh, this is cumulative. Okay. So you get charge bonus, melee attack. This gives you a Beast of Itzel. So you can summon 3 Razordon hunting packs. That gives weapon strength. And then the final one, diplomacy with Lizardmen. That's it? Just diplomacy with Lizardmen as a finale? Oh, there's something you can activate, though, that it's not telling me, that I can't see unless I click on this, which I didn't click on. This is like the defensive one. It's for like Temple Guard, Saurus, missile resist, melee defense. This gives invulnerability to a unit for 35 seconds. So, man, it's pretty good. I think that's buffed from what it used to be. Ward save and diplomacy with Lizardmen. You also get +10 replenishment in friendly or neutral territory. So that's pretty decent. This one I think is magic themed. Yeah, extra winds of magic. Winds of magic capacity is pretty good. A free vortex spell, which is okay. Minus cost for pretty much all magic you can get. And then this one is... same thing. Oh, plus 30% item chance. What's... Beast of Itzel upgraded. Oh, so you get 5 more with that one. Okay. Oh, you get +2 recruit rank. Alright, so I think I'm going red. And the thing is, you can fill up all of these. They are not mutually exclusive. I think with, like, Norska or something, it's mutually exclusive. You have to pick a god. Like, if you buff one, it debuffs the others. But this one, you can get them all. I think we'll start with gifts. so we get a right. So you can do these rights if you want. This costs 200. Old One Favor, which you just get from... I don't remember if it's just winning battles or taking towns. The rights aren't very good. You get a Slan Priest that you can do after you have 20 units. They're pretty bad. I would just go with the Croxagore Lord. Blessed units spawn for defenders of the Great Planet, their capital, so if they need a little help defending stuff. I don't remember if they build up a little army or not. But they've got that. Rite of Mastery, Ward Recruit rank for Ancients, plus 15 weapon strength and armor for Crocs, so it's okay. Yeah, not too crazy on the rights. Alright, and then... Okay, so you get a lot of ambush defense chance. You get line of sight, which is pretty nice for the entire next turn, even if you take that off. In camp stance, so you get replenishment, ambush defense. It doesn't cost any movement, and that's where you can build stuff and hire. And then Winds of Magic. Okay, so our next target is Daching. So we're going to try to run over there. And see, they get 750 income. Do we get Temples of the Old Ones 3? I don't know if that's 3 per turn. Oh, we get 6 per turn for controlling it. Oh, no, we get 3 total temples. All of them say that. And then they get, like, a decent little garrison off of it. Well, I mean, that's pretty good, actually. It's like a 16 garrison. And... Okay. Yeah, now, again, I don't know if they can upgrade these things or not. But you do get a certain percentage income from them. So we're getting, I guess, about 150 per town that we take. So that's okay. Now, we can get allegiance points with them, but we can't hire anything. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to hire anything. I don't remember. I don't know if I've done this campaign in Warhammer 3 or not. But you could still take control of some of their towns if you wanted to. Or like some of their armies if they can build them. I guess you could spawn that special army and then take control of it with your allegiance points if you really wanted to. Okay, the blue tree is really good here. So we do campaign range, and you can get this, which gives you up to 5 extra horde growth. Obviously awesome. And then you just have to get 1 more. You could get ambush chance. You don't have an ambush attack, so that's kind of awkward. You could also, get bonded service if you want. You get Draft Master, so that's good for Horde recruitment capacity because you don't have that much as Horde, typically. It is a little lame. You can't get the 30% replenishment on your Lord, but Draft Master's still pretty good. And, of course, Lightning Strike is huge, especially if you're going tall, like we're probably going to be doing, or you just have one, like, big, expensive army. We'll have some minor ones, but you're heavily encouraged to just kind of get a big one, usually with Horde, and try to destroy, stuff in your way with Doomstack type of style. And then upkeep minus 9%, always good. Fear to Renowned, your standard minus 8% upkeep, campaign movement range, all that stuff. Trying to think if I want to stop off and get this for an extra 5 leadership. We have pretty good leadership as is. I think I'll go for the Horde growth. Alright, we get Harmonic Convergence, so we still don't have a great AoE spell yet, but after this we'll be able to get Wind Blast, which is decent for early levels. Okay, and over here, yeah, we're pretty banged up and we do not have a lot of replenishment. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more. And I think, as much as I want to try to rush to tier 3, I think I want a replenishment one. I think we're going to need it. That's +1 capacity for all heroes, which is amazing. And the amount of town or things you can get, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 9 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can get all but 3 things. I think you can get multiple support buildings. I'm not 100% about that. But replenishment and growth is probably one that I want right now. Now these have further upgrades to 15% upkeep. It's very expensive to do that. I feel like they may have nerfed the growth, whereas this one just has a small upgrade. Okay, so we're gonna get 5. Just give extra growth. Recruitment. It's basically a horde growth 10 the whole time. But you do get an extra recruitment. You get extra movement range. And you get upkeep reduction. So it is very nice to upgrade these ASAP. And we kind of have to choose early on. Do we want the Ark of Sotek and some Bastillodons? Or these are really good. These Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas. It's kind of like your cavalry option. They do a lot of damage to grouped up infantry. They do get kind of blasted though by enemy archers. So those are really nice, but I think I'm going to go with this. Oh, I guess we don't have the growth for one of these if I do that. But, okay, we're going to need that. And I think we have to recruit some Saurus too. Just do 10 more damage, the sword version. Or the mace version, I guess. And they have 5 more melee attack. Like, that's a massive difference. Sometimes spears are just better than the sword infantry version, but this time, I think I just want the normal Saurus. I'm not going to be able to afford a Bastillodon if I do that, though. I don't know how much they are. We're getting 1,400 per. I want to have at least 2 Bastillodons. I guess since our replenishment's so low, we can go ahead and just combine those. So next turn we'll have 2,100-ish. I don't know how much the Bastillodon's going to be to hire, though. Let's just do 2. And we can hire 1 more with the Bastillodon, just to make sure we afford them. Okay, 2 with the clubs, and then... Because the Bastillodon, I believe, is going to take 2 turns to hire. So we're going to have to move over 1 more turn, take a couple of turns off and hire them. Which sucks, because they're going to be powering up and getting more units, but we have to have those Bastillodons. They're so good. Okay, and then here... This stuff costs extra Old One's favor, but it gives you basically 20% extra income, and this gives you plus 25% income. Now, I don't know, this is worded weirdly. I don't know if each one of these, if it's stacking additively or if it's just upgrading. This one does not say... replenishment though, or horde growth. So that's what makes me think that it's stacking, like each one of these is more and more and more. So for example, like this one, the 20% plus 2 horde growth, I think it adds with this one plus 25%, so that would total 45% extra income, I believe. Usually that's what it means. Buildings, they typically look, you know, whatever the highest building is what it is. You don't add all the previous ones. But with technology, typically, each one is independent. So I think that's how that's going to work. Could be off. 10% for skink, chameleon skink. Oh, we could hire a skink. We need 1 to put with our Croxigors. Actually, we can't hire a skink. I thought... You could with just the baseline building, but I guess not. No. Most of the other Lizardmen, which is your tier 1 building, you can get these early skinks, but we just can't afford them right now. Okay. And it's going to be plus 338 next turn in cost. Alright, and then diplomatically... Okay. Alright. I get there and oh god, it's gonna be close. I think I get there in one turn, but I have to go like exactly how it's telling me to. Yeah, normal Bastillodon is less. But these are just way better. Do I just want to grab a normal one here? How many Saurus? So we have quite a good little front line. We do need Saurus into spears to help dominate spears. We've got 3 terror-causing monsters that can run in there. So he's going to have 37 melee attack versus infantry. These guys have 29. Got a lot of armor. How fast is he? Not very. 40. He's faster than those. Now, he could rampage. But I could send him chasing, like, archer units. And he'd probably be okay. But he's going to be bad in his spears. These guys are kind of similar. Okay, I guess we'll just get another Saurus, because we're going to get... Or... No, I can't afford another one of these. God, I'm 3 gold off. Let's get one more Saurus, I guess. Is there anything... There's nothing I could do to generate 3 more gold. I guess I could have sold the Saurus building or something, maybe, but doesn't seem like a great strategy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we need a decent amount of these just to put them in spears. Alright. Well, actually, technically, I will wait 1 turn, because there's no point hiring them now unless I think I'm going to get attacked. Burning Wind Nomads. We don't really trade, I don't think, with anybody. Like, there's not a huge point in allying early on. Okay, so we'll wait 1 turn just to save on the upkeep costs, and then we'll hire the Saurus. Or the Bastillodon. Okay, nice. We get a win magic. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll do one more Saurus again, because when we upgrade, we're going to get other kinds of Bastillodon. The Revivification Crystal, the Solar thing. All of those would be good options. And here, the Replenishment building would be nice. Why can't I? Oh, I don't have enough gold. God, these buildings are so expensive compared to other factions, but I mean, that's Horde for you. Okay, I mean, if we upgrade that, then we get a upkeep reduction and all this other stuff. It's pretty good. Alright. Campaign movement range, all that. Okay, and we're hiring Saurus. Alright. Really hope I can get there in one turn. It's going to be very annoying if I can't. I guess I could have dashed, but I would have been down one Saurus, because I would not have been able to hire the previous turn. Okay, it's looking like I should be in range. Wait, no, I can't tell. It looks red to me. Yeah, 3%. Alright, let's do it. I mean, we gotta do it. Every turn they're gonna be hiring more, so. Nice. Okay, perfect. Alright, we'll do one more fight. I know we're gonna go over time, but I always, you know, I'll try to see if I can give you guys 2 fights. I know I talked a lot earlier on. Actually, let me... We are gonna fight this, but I just want to look just to make sure. So this is the Temple of the Old Ones, and this is the stuff you can hire for... favor. So it's got all these different buffs, but you can hire a Skink Chief, and I think that only lasts for 3 turns. +1 Skink Chiefs, recruitment rank. And you can add this to your recruitment pool, Blessed Cold Ones with spears, Horned Cold Ones, Stegodon, and Carnosaur. Carnosaur is obviously awesome. It's probably the best one out of any of these you can hire. And then this one is plus 50% income from battles and plus 25% movement range for all armies for 150 for 5 turns. So that's really good. And this one over here, you get a Skink Priest, which is good. And then you get Skink Blow Dart units. Weak. Fire Leech Bolas, those are good. So the flying units. And then if you hire a Slan Mage Priest, you get a bonus, but you get a Skink Oracle. Skink Oracles are very good. Because they come on a Troglosaur automatically level 1, or whatever that thing is called. The huge tier 5 dinosaur. And they've got a lot of really good abilities. So that is quite nice. And then this one is a Bastillodon with a Solar Engine, which is a good unit. It has Perfect Vigor, which is cool. I mean, it would have probably Perfect Vigor anyways with this, but still good. And then its final thing is Horde Growth plus 10 for all armies, which is awesome, obviously, but it's really late game. And then plus 50% from vassals. Now, I don't know if that stacks multiplicatively or additively with all these other bonuses, but it's a lot more money. And then this one over here, you get a Scar Veteran capacity for 3. Now remember, I'm pretty sure that goes away. So if you buy that for 100, you're going to be able to bump up 1, but then your capacity is going to go down. So it really only helps you get 1 over where your buildings are, I believe. You get Saurus with spears, normal Saurus, Croxigors, those are obviously good. Temple Guard are like, okay. And then when you're under siege, you get stuff. You can't be under siege. I mean, Defenders of the Great Plan will get it, but you don't have any armies that can siege you, so this one's kind of goofy. But I think red and blue are both very good in their own ways, but I believe red is where I probably want to be, just because it's a lot of bonuses to the beasts. Carnosaur is the best summon. And this is arguably the best little bonus. Oh, it's up there. The other bonuses can be pretty good too. But, okay, so yes, we do want to go red. We can mix and match though if we want to, but the Carnosaur is the very last thing just about in the red tree, so. Alright, let's fight it. We're going to go over. I know it's going to be a long episode. I really should save this fight for the next episode, but I'm going to try to treat you guys first episode, get a couple of good fights in here, even though we'll go long. Let's test out these Bastillodons with the disease or whatever, with all the bugs that swarm. This is kind of a troll map. Got some wind magic this time too, which is cool. The skink is horrible in combat, by the way. You really do not want this guy fighting. Until he gets on a mount. 22, 31, 3,000 health. Yeah, he's dead weight. Until he gets him out, as far as combat. Yeah, the Stegodon is technically ranged, but doesn't do a lot. At least not against crowds of infantry. Yeah, I'm not sure if they will do this little shuffle thing and just let me like walk up this hill from the side. That would be great. Or if they don't rotate fast enough, maybe we can pick off someone. But they love to just keep this line. Yeah, Lizardmen are heavily armored but slow. I might be able to get them to come down here. Yeah, here we go. Can we hit these? I don't have that much range, it's just straight up. I need to get a skink just so I get those bonuses eventually, but... Watch out for spears a little bit here. Crap. Oh, I should have waited on that. Oh, did he start going crazy too? Okay, let's activate this. Right, they're aiming for my Stegodon. We gotta try to tie them up if we can. Going for that Stegodon. Let's get him. Oh, I didn't even notice these little thrower dudes too. Dang, that was a super terror bomb. Love to see it. Okay, they're coming back. Okay, so these spears are kind of causing some problems over here. I think we're about to fear break these guys, I hope. is he? Oh, he's way over here. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Oh, it just does like one blast? Oh, it lasts for 8 seconds. It says duration. Okay, so it has like an animation now, I guess. More of an animation, but... What are we doing? We're just fighting these little dudes. Alright, let's go ahead and send those dudes over there. Let's send these dudes over here. Back these dudes out of these, Saurus are chasing everything. I should have monitored that a little closer. Okay. Alright, they're all gonna die because they're in a town. So yeah, replenishment definitely is a thing. His blue tree does have plus 6% replenishment if you want it to. But yeah, those Saurus are putting up pretty good numbers. I mean, those are historically some of the best. They're technically tier 2, but some of the best entry-level infantry in the game. They're certainly in the conversation just because they hit so hard. Like, 52 is now... It's not all armor piercing or anything, but it's a pretty freaking hard hit. And they've got 60 armor and 10,000 health. For under 200 gold. Like, they're very, very good. I'm sure, like... What is it? Like, the Khorne infantry guys, or bloodletters, are probably a little bit better, but... Like, they're very good. Okay, I want us to... Itzel again. Now this dude's just kind of on the way. Wait, am I at war with him? Okay, well, I guess I'm at war with him anyways. I was gonna say, usually, I think your goal is to beat... how much are we getting now? 300? Yes, okay. Where's Teapot spawn? Oh, yeah. Those guys that get wiped really quick by the other dudes. I think we're supposed to beat, like, all the vampire and dark elves, like, all the evil stuff in the area. Not Skaven, interestingly enough. Blessed Dread, Dead Flag Fleet, which I guess is up there, and the Jiangxi Rebels. So those are all pretty doable. And then your standard, like, beat up 30 cities. I mean, that's pretty good. So we could get plus 10 leadership with extra range on that leadership. But our units have pretty high leadership. I think we're just going to greed out and just go for the growth here. And then Wind Blast. How strong are they? It says I'm stronger than them. My question is, do I try to hire more? Or, like, build another building? Do I go for some more Saurus? On a siege? This is probably pretty good. I mean, we are injured, though. Not sure if I can get there. I definitely cannot get there in one turn. Now, if I dashed, would that matter? Oh, that's only if I dash. Okay, so I would have to dash to get close to that. If I replenish now, then next turn I should be able to walk to like here and replenish and then attack them. So I don't think I'm gaining anything by dashing because it's going to take 2 turns anyways. I can't get that in 1 turn. So I guess we're best served just to replenish here and decide what we want to do. Pterodon stuff is cool, but kind of optional. Like, I would like to get a Skink Chief, but I really don't need these other units. I mean, like, normal Skink is fine, but not entirely necessary. That gives capacity for all heroes, but I still have to have the buildings to hire them. I mean, that's 100 gold a turn. Right now, I think I have a 2,000 gold army. Almost 3,000 gold. It's 150 a turn. So I guess I would want that sooner rather than later. So there's not a horde growth upkeep one, is there? Or a replenishment. This is replenishment upkeep. That's probably what I need. I mean, the horde growth is good, but I've got 17. Like, 1 more is not going to move the needle that much. So yeah, probably this one. And I can get to tier 3 with that eventually. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. And then we can wait to hire. Like, we can walk up here and maybe see what they have. And then decide if we want to hire another Saurus or not. I could see, like, maybe 1 more Saurus, but obviously the fewer units you can get away with, you probably want to do that. So I can save up and get more units. Okay. If you looked at all this already... These guys were willing to non-aggro with us, but now they're not for some reason. You really don't want people backdooring you if you can help it. These elves are usually fairly chill early on from what I remember. These guys I just don't know. But, okay. Because if they start taking out your garrisons, then that's a problem. That's going to be your money, but you can't even... I guess you'd have to send a lord down there to defend it if they start doing that. But hopefully that'll be much later in the campaign, if that happens at all. Okay. Alright, well that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much. As always, running a little long, but I did want to give you, you know, a couple of good fights in here. And we're just going to keep pressing north. Should be an interesting campaign, so special thanks to Constant, as always, for sponsoring this. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.